Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We begin today's Saturday Satsang remembering Ramana, who shines as the Self in all beings. We begin the Satsang with a prayer chanted by Srimati Sapna Ganesh that will be followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam by Ujwal Jagadeesh.
दक्षिणामूर्तिसारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमां रमणाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये आङ्गिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्रतारादि तं नमः सात्विकं शिवम् ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय. नमो रमणा to everyone.
एकमक्षरं हृदि निरन्तरं भासते स्वयं लिख्यते कथं हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं छिन्वता मज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वं देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्यतो नाहं तत्ततपेतसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया धृष्टात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं. Namo Ramana. We have the chanting of a few verses from Upadesa Saram by Kumari Uma Sripathy.
नमो रमण. इदमहं पद विद्यमन्वहम् अहमिलीनकेऽप्यलयसत्तया विग्रहेन्द्रिया प्राणदीतम नाहमेकसत् तज्जडं यसत् सत्त्वभासिका चित्क्ववेतरा सत्तया हि चेत् चित्तया ह्यहम् ईशजीवयोर्वेषधीभिदा सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम् वेषः न स्वात्मदर्शनम् ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपत आत्मसंस्थिति स्वात्मदर्शनम् आत्मनिर्द्वयादात्मनिष्ठता ज्ञानवर्जिता अज्ञानहीन चेत् ज्ञानमस्ति किं ज्ञातुमन्तरम् किं स्वरूपम् इत्यात्मदर्शने अव्यया भवा पूर्णचित्सुखम् बन्धमुक्त्यतीतं परं सुखम् विन्दति जीवस्तु दैविक अहमपेतकं निजविभानकं महदिदं तपो रमणवागियम् नमो रमण
Namo Ramana. We move on to the section of the Ramananjali Sangeetam offering. Today we will have the Ramananjali songs being presented by Srimati V. Radha. That will be followed by a presentation by Dr. Pratibha. That will be followed by a Ramananjali offering by Savitri Krishnan and Jaisriram Krishnan.
Namo Ramana to all. Today I will be presenting a composition by Sri Ganapati Muni, Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni, and the music is by Srimati Sulochana Natarajan. It's in Raga Maya Madhavagaulam, set to Chatushra Ekatali. Yamuninaham trataram Shriramam Kausalyeva Shriramam Kausalyeva Yoga Vidyopadeshakam Shri Krishnam Devakiva Shri Krishnam Devakiva Kumar Brahmacharinam Deshikam Parashudharinam Renukeva Parashudharinam Renukeva Sarvabhuta Abhaya Pradam Shakyamunim Maya Devi Bhakta Bharavritam Manushya Kumaram Meriva Manushya Kumaram Meriva Sarvairater Gunair Visishtam Bhagavantam Bhavantam Bhagavantam Bhavantam Lokasya hitaya avidya andhakara panodanaya kuvadanam durikaranaya satyasya vedanaya cha sishuve saundaryambaye namaha saundaryambaye namaha Namastat adhishtanaya cha matrubhuteshwaraya bhagavate Namastat adhishtanaya cha matrubhuteshwaraya bhagavate Namastat पूज्यकेभ्यश्च रमण भागवतेभ्यः नमस्ते पूज्यकेभ्यश्च रमण भागवतेभ्यः रमण भागवतेभ्यः नमो रमण
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Even I have selected Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni's composition and music by Sulochana Mami. These are few verses selected from Sri Ramana Gita. The chapter 11, it's on compatibility of jnana and siddhis, but these earlier verses in this Kavya Kanta Ganapati Muni extols Bhagwan as having come as Lord Subramanya in human form. Subramanyam Narakrutim Jayagururamanam Vandeham. 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 Pashyami Devadatena Jnanena Tvam Muhurmuhu. Pashyami Devadatena Jnanena Tvam Muhurmuhu. Brahmanyanam Varam Brahma Subramanyam Narakrutim. Brahmanyanam Varam Brahma Subramanyam Narakrutim. Subramanyam Narakrutim Jayagururamanam Vandeham. Subramanyam Narakrutim Jayagururamanam Vandeham. Kevalam Nama Bedhoyam Vyakti Bhedo na Vidyate. Kevalam Nama Bedhoyam Vyakti Bhedo na Vidyate. Sanat Kumara Skandascha पर्यायौ तव तत्त्वतः. सनत्कुमार स्कन्दश्च पर्यायौ तव तत्त्वतः. सुब्रह्मण्यं नराकृतिं जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. सुब्रह्मण्यं नराकृतिं जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. न त्वं स्वामि गिरौ नाथ न त्वं क्षणिकपर्वते. न त्वं स्वामि गिरौ नाथ न त्वं क्षणिकपर्वते. न त्वं वेङ्कटशैलाग्रे शोणाद्रावसि वस्तुतः. न त्वं वेङ्कटशैलाग्रे शोणाद्रावसि वस्तुतः. सुब्रह्मण्यं नराकृतिं जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. सुब्रह्मण्यं नराकृतिं जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. सनत्कुमारं ब्रह्मर्षिं त्वामाहुर्वेदवेदिनः. सनत्कुमारं ब्रह्मर्षिं त्वामाहुर्वेदवेदिनः. आगमानां तु वेत्तार सुब्रह्मण्यं सुरर्षभम्. आगमानां तु वेत्तार सुब्रह्मण्यं सुरर्षभम्. सुब्रह्मण्यं नराकृतिं जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. 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 जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. जयगुरुरमणं वन्देऽहं. नमो रमण.
அம்மா அருணாச்சலத்தை பாராசை சும்மாயிருக்குதே. அது போல மருந்துட செய்யாதிருக்க ஆசை பெருக்குதே. அம்மா அருணாச்சலத்தை ஜலத்தை பாராய் சும்மா இருக்குதே. அது போல மருந்துளசையாதிருக்க ஆசை பெருக்குதே. இம்மாதிரத்தின் இருப்பேல் வழிந்தென்னை இழுக்குதே. இம்மாதிரத்தின் இருப்பேல் வழிந்தென்னை இழுக்குதே. ஏதும் நினையாதென் போலிருவென்றென்னுள் ஒழிக்குதே. அம்மா அருணாச்சலத்தை பாராய் சும்மா இருக்குதே. அது போல மருந்துளசையாதிருக்க ஆசை பெருக்குதே. காண காண கருத்துளொடுங்கி கண்கள் நிலைக்குதே. கண்கள் நிலைக்குதே. கண்கள் நிலைக்குதே. கல்லென்றுயிரை கவரும் காந்த கவர்ச்சி பலிக்குதே. ஆணை பெண்ணை அனைவரும் அபகரிக்குதே. ஆசை அளிக்கும் ஆசை பெருக்கி அமைதி அளிக்குதே. அமைதி அளிக்குதே. அமைதி அளிக்குதே. அம்மா அருணாச்சலத்தை பாராய் சும்மா இருக்குதே. அதுபோல மருந்துளசையாதிருக்க ஆசை பெருக்குதே. உள்ளம் கவர்ந்த கள்வன் ரமணன் ஒளிந்தங்குள்ளானோ. ரமணன் ஒளிந்தங்குள்ளானோ. ரமணன் ஒளிந்தங்குள்ளானோ. உச்சி சிகர வடிவாயொளிரும் ஒற்றை கண்ணனோ. மெல்லனகை கும்பிற்பொரு ரமணன் வெளியில் வாரான். ரமணன் வெளியில் வாரான். ரமணன் வெளியில் வாரான். விலகாதெந்தன் விழியை கவர்ந்த வேந்தன் நானானோ. வேந்தன் நானானோ. வேந்தன் நானானோ. அம்மா அருணாச்சலத்தை பாராய் சும்மா இருக்குதே. அது போல மருந்துளசையாதிருக்க ஆசை பெருக்குதே. அது போல மருந்துளசையாதிருக்க ஆசை பெருக்குதே. அது போல மருந்துளசையாதிருக்க ஆசை பெருக்குதே. ஓம் நமோ பகவதே ஸ்ரீ ரமணாய.
Namo Ramana. We will move to the next part of the satsang where we have reading and sharing by Sri Nandakumarji.
Namo Ramana. In this, the book reading segment of our satsang, we continue to read from Ramana's Murganar Birth Centenary compilation, edited and compiled by our founder president, Shri A.R. Natarajanji. We are in the account of Professor K. Swaminathan sir, which goes by the title the Maharishi and Muruganar. We find the professor detailing Bhagavan's teachings and coming to the contribution of Muruganar in Bhagavan's teachings. We continue. Tamil poets and scholars. Tamil poets and scholars like Swami Natanananda and K.V. Jagannathan extol the poet Saint Muruganar as the Maharishi's alter ego. Alter ego refers to the hidden part which is not shown by the one but then represented by Muruganar. Bhagavan's own self represented by Muruganar. The embodiment of beauty in delighted dialogue with the embodiment of truth. The rainbow, which is only white light made more charming. A flame kindled by the flame of Ramana's jnana. The main branch of Ramana Ganga. The simplest of the simple, the purest of the pure. A heroic artist, unconquerable in his courage. Even on a sober, objective assessment, the poems of Sri Muruganar, the senior most of spiritual sons of Bhagavan, form a precious part of Ramana's canon. Canon, of course, means the collection of principles. Apart from the enormous mass of his own poetical output, with its infinite variety and sustained sweetness, Muruganar succeeded in eliciting from Bhagavan Upadesa Saram and Atma Vidya, and in arranging the verses of Ulladu Narpadu and the supplement. Sri Sadhuvam claims justly that Muruganar is the main begetter of Sri Ramana Prasthana Trayam, that is Upadesa Saram, the 40 verses or Ulladu Narpadu and Guru Vachaka Kovai. The last, Guru Vachaka Kovai, the garland of Guru sayings, consists of 1254 verses which form the clearest, most comprehensive, authentic and systematic presentation of Bhagavan's teachings. The themes and modes, the style and imagery adopted in Sannidhi Murai, the hymns of praise seem on the surface to be borrowed from the great medieval singers, but there is nothing merely repetitive or imitative in Muruganar, whose words apply with perfect aptness to his hero, an actual person, historical and contemporary, because this presence too radiated love and knowledge and shared a beatitude. Many thousands of Muruganar's later poems, mainly metaphysical and self-revelatory, have yet to be printed and published. Of a series of 10 or more volumes called Sri Ramana Jnana Bodham, one has come out and the second is in the press. The value of Guru Vachaka Kovai, garland of Guru's sayings, is not merely its literary appeal to the Tamil readers. The collection equals the talks in comprehensiveness and authenticity, and the contents are systematically arranged. The talks are informal and present the Maharishi's teachings against the background of the questions posed by the enquirers. The garland of Guru's sayings focuses the light on what Maharishi said, regardless of whom to or why he said it, and the sayings are strung together in a cogent order which is intellectually satisfying. When one compares it with Arthur Osborne's admirable work, Ramana Maharishi's teachings in his own words, one sees how Muruganar's collection, that is Guru Vachaka Kovai, is more detailed, comprehensive, and systematic. So the author praises the compilation under Guru Vachaka Kovai beyond all existing collections of teachings of Bhagavan. The creative impulse. The creator, like the seer, is a rasajna, a knower of enjoyment. The impulse behind creation is aesthetic. Truth enjoys itself as beauty, creating the many for the enjoyment of the one. The world is created as an aesthetic activity. It is a poem composed or a dream dreamed by God, and we, his children, are permitted to share his joy as the creator and seer of the show. The world is an extension of God's splendor, his vibhuti, his leela. God creates the universe as a poet composes his poem, or as a mother plays with her children. We too are poets and lovers of poetry and enjoy the world's variety as names and forms, as well as its unity as sheer awareness. We are participants and spectators in this game of bringing the world into existence and watching its outward movement. Gandhi, the master of action, was a lover of beauty and hence a poet like Muruganar, the master of speech. In 108 names of Bhagwan, Vishwanath Swami deftly interposes Rasajna in between Varnashrama Matadita and Saumya. The poets teach by communicating joy, the pure joy of beauty, the unity which transcends the distinctions between enjoyer, thing enjoyed, and joy. The Sukhi becoming Sukhitva is a common enough experience. Bhagwan is not a mere Rasika, one who enjoys beauty, a man of taste. He sees truth in beauty and beauty in truth. He sees truth in beauty and beauty in truth because there is joy in both. Because enjoyment is a unifying mode of awareness. God is Rasa, Raso Vai Saha. He is himself enjoyment. He enjoys knowledge and he knows joy. He is himself enjoyment. He enjoys knowledge and he knows joy. He enjoys our enjoyment of the universe. As a good parent enjoys the child's enjoyment of a game. Muruganar says again and again to Bhagavan, you sang through me your own praises and I enjoy hearing your praises. Bhagavan loved to listen to the readings from Bible, Shakespeare, Milton, Wordsworth, Keats, and so on. He enjoyed them all and brought out their inner significance by a few words of comment, at once apt, penetrating, and revealing. Once he said, Shakespeare the Self wrote this so that born again as we, he might enjoy it. Shakespeare the Self wrote this so that born again as we, he might enjoy it. Bhagavan was surprised to learn that Ralph Waldo Emerson had made a statement to the same effect. The marriage of mythology and history is made explicit in many of Muruganar's poems, most of all in the magnificent movement Undiyar, where Maharishi is identified with Rama, Krishna, Skanda, and Shiva, and in this, the latest role, made to utter the quintessence of Advaita in Upadesa Saram. The marriage of mythology and history is made explicit in many of Muruganar's poems, most of all in the magnificent movement Undiyar, where Maharishi is identified with Rama, Krishna, Skanda, and Shiva, and in this latest role made to utter the quintessence of Advaita in Upadesa Saram. The message delivered by Shiva Ramana, the eternal self, is then asserted by the poet to be identical with the teachings of Buddha and Jesus. Ekam Sat, truth is one, truth is God. In Jnanam, we call truth as God is called as truth. But he manifests and reflects himself in many ways and many relations. That is why Ramana, the charming one, the sportful one, called into his circle Father Sundara, the beautiful one, Mother Alagu, the beautiful one, and friend and playmate Murugar, the beautiful one. I'll read that paragraph again. Ekam Sat, truth is one, truth is God, but he manifests and reflects himself in many ways and many relations. That is why Ramana, the charming one, the sportful one, called into his circle Father Sundara, the beautiful one, Mother Arag, the beautiful one, and friend and playmate Muruga, the beautiful one. To Pilate's question, there is an answer. Pilate is a chieftain in the place where Jesus is brought in his final day of judgment. And Pilate asks the question, what is the truth? And Jesus remains in Mauna. He doesn't answer with sentence. So that Pilate's question remains unanswered to the normal people, but answered to the Jnanis, because the answer of Jesus is that truth cannot be expressed, it can only be experienced and abided with. To Pilate's question, there is an answer. Truth is beauty, and beauty is truth. To Pilate's question, there is an answer. Truth is beauty, and beauty is truth. Truth has many names and forms, and all of them are beautiful. Truth has many names and forms, and all of them are beautiful. This is a talk delivered at Bhagavan Sri Ramana Centenary celebrations during November 8th to November 10th and published in the Mountain Park, January 1981. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramana. Namo Ram.
Namo Ramana. This reminds me of the words in Undi Para. We are celebrating Ramanavami tomorrow, where the compassion of Rama is described by Muruganar Swami, where he says, Rama approaching Ravana says, Indru poi naale va. Go today and come back tomorrow. Think about it, about your actions, then come back tomorrow to fight. Says Rama even to Ravana, who he is ready to bless Ravana too because of his compassion. Remembering this compassionate one, we move on to the next part of the satsang, where we have the self-enquiry, meditation and practice led by Sri Dileep Simha ji.
Namo Ramana. Jayet Sharada Chandra Sundaramukam Tamra Vindrekshanam Bhakta Vishavara Bhaya Pradakaram Kaupi Namatra Ujwalam Svatmanam Sarasa Vidivasham Sarvanavadyangakam Srimantam Sri Ramaneshwaram Suluvaram Yogasana Dhyasitam Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahmamatram Yahamahamipi Sakshatatmarupena Bhati Pradivisha Manasa Asvam Chinvata Majjatava Pavana Chalanarodha Atmanishto Bhavatvam. Namo Ramana. We will commence the Atma Vichara by listening to Bhagavan's Upadesham. I'll be reading his Upadesham from the book Guruvachaka Kobai, from the chapter Experience of the Truth. The topic is the benefit of getting absorbed in Atmanishta, in self-abidance. Verse 1059. The Swarupa, that is the adobe of the bliss of consciousness, is the vast and deep ocean of intense space. Those who dive deep within that ocean by merging their minds in the heart will attain the eternal and inexhaustible treasure of the grace of the self. I repeat, the Swarupa, that is the adobe of the bliss of consciousness, is the vast and deep ocean of intense peace. Those who dive deep within that ocean by merging their minds in the heart will attain the eternal and inexhaustible treasure of the grace of the self. Bhagavan here is talking about the benefit of getting absorbed in the self. And he is explaining here that one will get the inexhaustible treasure. And it is not only just an inexhaustible treasure, it is the eternal inexhaustible treasure. And that treasure, which has been there, whose Leela, as we saw Nandakumarji reading out, has appeared in various forms and expressing itself. So we understand when the mind is absorbed in the self, so long as the mind is standing apart from the self or identifies that it has a separate identity, it keeps on creating differences in this Leela where the self alone is everything. So therefore, it becomes important to inquire every time a differences rise. To whom is this? Who am I? So the question, to whom is this? Who am I? Though initially starts as an inquiry to find out to whom is this happening, to whom is this differences appearing, and further recognizing it is for me. What do I mean by I? Though it starts there, as the sadhaka progresses, the question, who am I, or to whom is this, is a trigger to make him recognize that a sense of division has been created, though there is only the self, there is only the Atmanishtha. And that self-abidance is only the thing that is there. The self is experiencing itself. And when we forget it, and when we get carried away by the various names and forms, Bhagavan has, with his grace, given us this vichara in that very thought form to inquire to whom is this, who am I, so that we let go that whole thing, and then the mind can get back to the heart, get back to its source. And by doing it, whether we do it with effort or whether we do it effortlessly, it will definitely take us to that ocean of intense space where there is no thoughts, no I, no differences. And Bhagavan is saying that makes us get back to that inexhaustible, eternal treasure, that is the grace of the self. So Atma Vichara for us is such a grace, taking us back to itself, making us recognize that the truth alone is. And with immense grace of Bhagavan, this Atma Vichara has come to us. So with his abundant grace, for the next 10 minutes, if at all we get carried away into a sense of separateness, into the sense of mind and everything, we should diligently inquire to whom is this, who am I, so that we can get back to our true nature, which is effortlessly available, because the self alone in its love has manifested everything. Or if there is no manifestation. It is the full ocean of space of consciousness. Neither which way, the self alone is experiencing itself. So, with Bhagavan's immense grace, let us practice Atma Vichara for the next 10 minutes. Namo Bhagavate Sri Thank you.
Namo Ramana. We move on to the next session where we have a sharing by Sri Venkatesh Deshpande ji.
Namo Ramana. Oh. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahaviram Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Gururvakyam Mokshamulam Guru Kripa Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. We're doing Manana on Atma Bodha, and the last satsang we did Manana on verse 48. A quick recap of that. The whole universe is verily Brahman. There exists nothing other than Brahman. Just as pots do not exist apart from the clay, the enlightened one sees everything as his own self. The idea of an absolute homogeneity into which even the concrete and substantial world is absorbed is staggering and far beyond human conception. A simple example illustrates this truth. In this example, the universe is compared to the variety of earthen pots, jars, vases, etc., and Atma to clay, the material with which they are made. Even though the form, size, color, etc., of the pots are distinct and different from one another, they are all, in a sense, nothing but clay. They have no existence apart from clay. Similarly, the variegated manifestations of perceptions, emotions, and thoughts may seem to have a pluralistic existence of their own, but they are in essence nothing but Atman, and Atman alone. So today we are doing Manana on verse number 49, and I request Sapna to kindly chant them, please.
Namo Ramana. जीवन्मुक्तस्तु तद्विद्वान् आपूर्वापादिगुणान् त्यजेत् सच्चिदानन्दादिधर्मत्वत् भजे भ्रमरकीटवत् जीवन्मुक्तस्तु तद्विद्वान् आपूर्वापादिगुणान् त्यजेत् सच्चिदानन्दादिधर्मत्वत् भजे भ्रमरकीटवत्. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sapna. A liberated soul, a Jivan Mukta, endowed with the self-knowledge, gives up the traits of his previous equipments and becomes Brahman on account of his nature of existence, knowledge, bliss, just as a worm becomes a wasp. Your equipments, upadhis, are the gross, subtle, and causal bodies. Identifying with them, you assume the personality of waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Your identification with the gross body projects your waking world and its experiences. Similarly, the subtle body projects your dream world and its experiences, and the causal body, the homogeneous experience of deep sleep. But when you identify with the Supreme Self, you transcend the limitations of the three conditioning bodies. The properties of the material bodies do not affect you anymore. You become pure Atma Satchidananda. The metaphor of the worm and the wasp describes your transformation to godhood. A wasp builds its nest, places its worm, jiva, in it, and guards it. The worm maintains a constant thought of the wasp until it metamorphoses into a wasp. The life of a worm is constricted and restricted to the small dark nest, whereas the wasp enjoys the vast expanse of a brighter world. Similarly, you suffer the restrictions of the body, mind, and intellect as long as you identify with your material equipments. But when you detach yourself from the equipments and meditate upon the Supreme Self, you are transformed into a Jivan Mukta, enjoying absolute knowledge and bliss. The introduction of the concept of Jivan Mukta suggests that the self can be realized by you in your lifetime. Sri Shankaracharya is the spearhead of this school of thought. He argues that its non-acceptance would render the entire Vedic literature as mere theories of such teachers than inspired declarations arising from intimate subjective experiences of self-realized souls. There is yet another school, championed by equally great thinkers, which believes that the ultimate state of realization can be attained only when the physical body is cast away. It is called Videha Mukti. So it's a beautiful verse which talks about what's a liberated soul endowed with. The self-knowledge gives up the traits of the previous equipment and becomes Brahman on account of the nature of existence, knowledge, and bliss. So the mind is the factor, the mind, the ego, the I-ness. The I-ness raises up, and then all the whole world rises, the body rises with all the um, eyes, all the equipment, all arise. So Bhagwan says that importantly is when you keep on inquiring, that's what we did just now. When you inquire, what do you inquire? Into the non-self, and says, oh, is that the truth? Is that the non-self which I'm inquiring, is that the truth? When you inquire into it, you realize that the mind is tricking you. It is trying to say, all these things that you're seeing in the world of Nama and Rupa, in time and space, is all real. So as you keep inquiring, you realize you are that Satchidananda Atman. Nothing bothers it. It's a consciousness, it's existence, and it's always there. And it says that important for all of us to be established in that. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. In this part of the satsang, we are meditating on the verses of Ramana Chatvarimshat, which has been written by Kavyakanta Vasishta Ganapati Muni, and they have been compiled and given to us in this format by Ramana himself. we are moving to a new verse, 39th verse of Ramanacentre, the penultimate verse of these 40 verses in praise on Bhagavan Ramana. Tadbhagadeyamasamanekamoni vasarjitam kshitibrita kalulohitasya tadbhagadeyamasamanekamoni vasarjitam kshitibrita kalulohitasya angīchakara bhagavan ramano maharshi अन्येषु सस्तु यदिमं बहुषु स्थलेषु अङ्गीचकार भगवन् रमणो महर्षिरन्येषु सस्तु यदिमं बहुषु स्थलेषु रमणं गुरुं नमामि रमणं गुरुं नमामि ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ ಪಡೆದಿಹುದು ಸರಿಸಾಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನಿವರರು ವಾಸಿಸುವ ಕೆಂಪಾದಗಿರಿಯು ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ ಪಡೆದಿಹುದು ಸರಿಸಾಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನಿವರರು ವಾಸಿಸುವ ಕೆಂಪಾದಗಿರಿಯು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿಹರು ಭಗವಾನ್ ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳು ಇತರ ಅನೇಕ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಿದ್ದರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿಹರು ಭಗವಾನ್ ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳು ಇತರ ಅನೇಕ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಿದ್ದರು ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ. These verses have been composed in the raga called Mani Rang by Srimati Sulochana Natarajan. The Mani Rang is usually sung in the ending because it's very, very Mangalakara raga, a very auspicious ragam. So it is sung, the last two verses have been set to this beautiful ragam called Manirang. And here Ganapati Muni says, Arunachala by itself is very, very glorious because many sages and saints are dwelling in this red hill. Aruna means red, Achala means that hill. Here Arunachala is called the Lohitasya Kshitihi, that is Lohita is the red color, and Kshitihi Pritaha means the Kshiti means the mountain here. And he says this red mountain is already very, very famous and glorious because the great sages and saints have done tapasya here. It is such a punya bhumi. But this punya bhumi, its bhagya has got unparalleled because Ramana, Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi has chosen this place, this sacred place as his abode. Although in India we can find so many sacred places, there are so many mukti kshetras. They talk about Gaya, Avantika, and they say Kashi, if you die in Kashi you will get mukti, if you are born in Kamalaliyam, Tiruvarur, you get mukti, Darshanath mukti is in Chidambaram. So we have so many mukti kshetras in India, and India is such a beautiful and sacred place that many avataras have happened here. But out of all these places, our Bhagavan Ramana has chosen this Arunachala, and that's why the Arunachala has become more special, more sacred because of his presence. Muruganar Swami, in one of his songs, he says, Ninnaya aatake bhuviyane ಕ್ರೀಡಾರಂಗವ ಮಾಡಿದ ದೇವ ಶರಣು, ಉತ್ತರ ದಿಕ್ಕು ಗಳಿಸಿದ ಹಿರಿಮೆ, ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಗಳಿಸಿ ಮೆರೆಯುವ ರೀತಿ. The Uttara Dikku, that is the north of India, has so much of glory because all the avataras happened there. The Ayodhya where Rama was born is up in the north. The Dwaraka where Krishna was born, ruled, and those places are all up in the north. And all the Himalayas, the Kailasa Parvata, they're all in the north of India. So the north is very, very glorious and sacred. But to make even the south of India glorious, Ramana has born and he has made our South India, and that too the Arunachala, very, very famous all over the world. And he has revived the glory of Arunachala. In the Puranas we hear that the Arunachala was a great place where the great sages came to do tapasya. We have on the Girivalam path, we have the Durvasa Muni ashrama, and we have the ashrama of the Gautama Muni. And it is told that in Arunachala there are many, many Siddha Purushas who are all there. And it is that place where, in Ramana says in one version of the story, when there was a competition between Ganapati and Muruga, saying that who goes around the world first will get the Jnana Phalam. It is told that Ganapati came down to Arunachala and he went around Arunachala because Arunachala itself is the center of the world. It is the whole universe is contained in that center, that heart. So he went around Arunachala and got the Jnana Phalam. And it is this place where the Muruga also came and he sported, and we have the story of Arunagirinathar, how he was saved by Muruga and how Muruga told him to sing the Tiruppugal. So that happened here in Arunachala. And it is this place where Parvati came and performed her penance, and she united with Shiva to become Ardhanarishwara. So Arunachala is already so glorious. There is one beautiful story in the history which has been mentioned in the Arunachala Puranam of the great kings who were so devoted, who ruled Arunachala. And there was a king called Veera Vallalan. He was from the Hoysala dynasty, and he was from the Hoysala dynasty, which was the whole of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and few part of Tamil Nadu, and Maharashtra was being ruled by Hoysala. And their capital was a place called Dwara Samudra. But when Veera Vallalan became the king, he moved the capital to Arunachala, and he used to call it Aruna Samudram. And there in Aruna Samudram he was ruling the country with so much of devotion, and he had great bhakti on Shiva and Shiva Bhaktas. So he used to do lot of dhana and dharma, charity for Shiva Bhaktas. And it is told that in the Arunachaleshwara temple, the Nandi which we see inside, the big Nandi that we see, has been built by this king Veera Vallalan. So such a great king, but he did not have any children. So he had taken a vow that he is going to do lot of charity to any Shiva Bhakta who would come and ask for anything. He would give them that. And his glory, his fame spread everywhere that he is a great devotee of Shiva. So Shiva wanted to test his devotion. So Arunachaleshwara himself, he disguised himself as a sadhu, and he came. In Arunachala Puranam, it describes that that place was so sacred, that Aruna Samudra, which was so sacred, and it describes that there were Devadasis who were very, very chaste. Their chastity is equated to Arundhati, the Vasishta's wife. They were so pure, like a Rishi Patni. They were all tapasvis. In such a place where a Dasi also is a great tapasvi, this king was ruling, and Shiva disguised himself as a sadhu, a Shiva Bhakta, and appeared before him. And the king asked, "Oh great one, what do you want? What do you want from me? What service do you want? I am ready to offer that to you and give it to whatever you want. I'm ready to give. But that sadhu told, I don't want any material things. I want to spend this night in your palace with the women. So he told, and quickly the king told all the ministers to go and find the best Devadasi to spend the night with this sadhu who had come. But it was the Leela of Arunachaleshwara. So the Shiva had sent all his ganas to all the houses of the Devadasis, and for that night all the Devadasis were booked. And the Devadasis had this, they were all great tapasvis and sadhakas, as I told you. They had a rule that one night they will only spend with one man. So they never, even when the ministers offered them more money, when they told, you leave that person and king is calling you, the Devadasis did not agree to this. And the ministers could not find any dasis to spend, to offer this sadhu who had come and who was demanding this. And when the king was worried, the younger queen of the king, she offered herself. O king, don't worry. A sadhu has come, a Shiva Bhakta has come, and he has asked something. And you are such a great Shiva Bhakta that you will not deny any Shiva Bhakta's desire or request. So I will spend the night with this sadhu, she said. And it was prepared, and the Rani was in the the inner chambers, and there she was sitting on the bed, and she had understood that she had to offer herself to that sadhu. So she was fully ready, and she wanted to entertain that sadhu in the best way that she could. So she started playing her veena sitting on the bed, and she was waiting for that sadhu to open the door and enter and approach her. And when she was waiting and playing veena, she noticed that the sadhu had not touched her, or he had not approached her. Instead, when she opened her eyes, she saw a little baby on her bed, and she announced this to the king, that a small baby is on her bed. That sadhu, who was Arunachaleshwara himself, he had appeared as that little kid. And when they approached and they prostrated before that child disappeared, and Arunachaleshwara appeared before that king and his wife and told, I am going to be your son, and I am going to be your elder son, and I am going to bless you with more progeny. You are going to have more children who will rule the kingdom. But I will do the last rites, and I will do Shraddam every year as a elder son would do. So that is the promise that Arunachaleshwara gave. And even till date, we have a festival where the Arunachaleshwara goes to a farm nearby to offer the Shraddam to this great king, Veera Vallalan. So he was such a great devotee for whom Shiva himself came as the child. So Arunachala is such a glorious place where there are great sadhus and great kings who are great tapasvis and sadhakas have come. Guru Namah Shivaya says, Jnana Tapodanarai Vavendre Alaikumalai Annamalai. He says it calls all the seekers of truth. Such is the greatness of Arunachala. This glory of Arunachala was forgotten in between. Arunachala is the heart. Arunachala is the self. People had forgotten the glory of the heart, Arunachala. To revive the glory of the heart, the self, the Arunachala, Ramana had to be born, and he was drawn to Arunachala, and by his abiding in Arunachala, by his abiding in the heart, he made the glory of the Arunachala much more glorious, much more profound and accessible to everyone by just abiding in Arunachala all the time. To that Ramana who chose Arunachala, who has chosen our heart, and he is abiding there as the Arunachala Ramana. He is waiting for us to turn within with love and melt in love, and he is waiting to embrace us and make us one with him. To that Arunachala Ramana who is abiding in the heart Arunachala, we offer our salutations, says Ganapati Muni in this verse of Ramanacentre. We move on to the part of the satsang where we have the chanting of a few verses of Arunachala Aksharamanamalai by Srimati V. Radha.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. கோபமில் குணத்தோய் குறியாயனை கொள்ள குறையன் செய்தேன் அருணாச்சலாம். கௌதமர் போற்றும் கருணை மமலையே கடைக்கணி தாழ்வாய் அருணாச்சலாம். சகலமும் விழுங்கும் கதிரொளியின மன ஜலஜ மலர்த்தீடருணாச்சலாம். சாப்பாடுன்னை சாலுணவாயான் சாந்தமாய் போவன் அருணாச்சலாம். சித்தம் குளிர கதிரஸ்தம் வைத்த முதவை திர அருள்மதி அருணாச்சலாம். சீரையடித்த நிர்வாணம செய்தருள் சீரையடித்தருள் அருணாச்சலாம். சுகக்கடல் பொங்க சொல்லுணர்வடங்க சும்மா பொருந்திடங்கருணாச்சலாம். சோது செய்தென்னை சோதியதினி உன்றோதி ஒரு காட்டருணாச்சலாம். செப்படி வித்தை கற்றிப்படி மயக்கு விட்டுருபடி வித்தை காட்டருணாச்சலாம். சேராயனின்மை நீராயுருகி கண்ணீராற்றழிவேன் அருணாச்சலாம். செய்யன தள்ளீர் செய்வினை சுடுமலர் உய்வகையே துரை அருணாச்சலாம். சொல்லாது சொல்லினி சொல்லரனில் என்று சும்மா இருந்தாய் அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ 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 அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலம் வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி. அக்ஷரமணமாலை வாழி. நமோ ரமண.
Namo Ramana. We conclude today's satsang with the Ashtottara puja to Bhagavan, which will be offered by Sri Dileep Simha ji in his altar, and the chanting of the Ashtottaram will be done by Vaibhavji and Prarthana. That will be followed by the chanting by Uma Sripathy, and the Arati song will be rendered by Dr. Pratibha Sundaresh.
नमो रमण. भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्विमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि. ॐ महासेन महंसेन जाताय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः। ॐ महौजसे नमः। ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः। ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः। ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः। ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः। ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः। ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः। ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः। ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः। ॐ श्रीमद्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः। ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः। ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः। ॐ तीव्राय नमः। ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः। ॐ इन्दुमौळिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शौर्णशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। ॐ तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। ॐ कुशाग्रदिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ पुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितः श्रीमण्डितानन्दमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूर्णिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजतचलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणस्य निधाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः।
ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्री शोणाचलद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्छिन्न संशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ मृच्छान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात् बन्धमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ आर्धविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्री अष्टोत्तरशतनाम पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्या जनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाहविवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः निष्टस्वकभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनस्यीकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि दर्शन सुख मंगल मुख सकल जीवहित सम्मुख ब्रह्म संगिये सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिव नंद पुष्ट परम महर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शि नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀರರಿತಿಯೇ ಅದರ ವಿಧವನರಿತು ನೀಡುತ್ತೆಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಯೇ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೋಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವ ನುಡಿದು ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಗಿಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि श्री भगवान बोलो भगवान श्री रमण महर्षि की जय।